Chances are that if you've watched any movie or read pretty much any book, that you're familiar with the hero's journey. But what you may not be familiar with is what the true meaning of the hero's journey actually represents. Because it's not a simple story about a character going through an experience to get the girl or achieve this momentous outcome, overcoming obstacles, trials, tribulations, to be this glorified figure. No, it's actually about you. And we're all familiar with this story because it's, in a way, kind of brainwashed into us. It's so typical that it's become archetypical, right? It's this archetypical story structure which defines the narratives within our world. It's where we get the notions of right and wrong and good and evil and everything else in between that we strive to be or strive to defeat. It's this inherent duality and polarity that we experience everywhere in our lives. And so we cannot really escape this, when actually that's the whole point of the hero's journey, right? And we need only examine the most typical example where we start in a quaint little village with the protagonist, this budding hero, and in the familiar old kind of environment with the community and the family and the expectations and obligations of the society that you must live up to and fit within. And all the while, in the heart of this budding hero is a greater desire, a burning vision for something bigger than what is known, what is familiar. But there's doubt and there's disbelief. Is it even possible? Am I the one? And then there's this mysterious, maybe mystical figure that shows up as a kind of mentor to confirm and validate and encourage this protagonist to set out, leaving the known behind, the familiar, the hometown, and stepping onto the path and embarking into the abyss of the unknown, facing fears, overcoming obstacles, the trials and tribulations, meeting the villain, and going into the innermost recesses of oneself to find the courage and the strength and the clarity and the connection and the willpower to overcome all these things, to come out the other side, to defeat the monster, right? To upend the villain and get the girl and achieve the glory of what it means to be the hero. But you see, all of this is that typical archetypical story structure with all of these dual concepts baked into it, which we all admire and we're all inspired by. And it's a wonderful thing. However, it's also subtler than what we've made it out to be. In truth, it's actually about going beyond that romantic story of introduction and conclusion and climax and the beginning and the end. It's actually about what has no beginning and has no ending. For you, in your truth, as you really are, is that timeless, limitless, formless, boundless, infinite possibility that is really the essence of what the hero represents. Because the hero has many faces, and the hero has many expressions, and the hero has many outcomes that they strive for. And for you, as the hero, it is not about getting anywhere. It is not about attaining anything. It is not about achieving. Not in the limited linear sense that this archetypical story structure suggests, but it's actually within that timeless, eternal now that is the ground of your being, that all of these possibilities are already available, already accessible. And therefore, the journey that the hero embarks on is merely the illusion of the unfolding of the story that you are telling yourself about who you think you are, who you believe you are, who you assume yourself to be, and therefore what you expect to encounter, what you insist on needing to happen in order for you to realize everything that you want to experience and become and manifest. For in truth, the entire journey that you, the hero, go on is merely the outpressing of the mind, of the consciousness, of the imagination that's concocting the story with all of the seeming parts that are needed in order for you to experience whatever it is that you desire to experience. And everything that you encounter on that journey is placed there by you, by virtue of what you're assuming yourself to be. You see, it is that most essential sense of self, that you are for yourself, that self concept in its image, in its form, in its feeling, that outpresses itself into an unfolding that must be encountered and faced and overcome and integrated so that you can get from here to there. When actually it all already exists by virtue of shifting the view from which you are looking through. So depending on who you are, you will create the illusion of something out here to experience. And so this is the beauty of this truth of the hero's journey, is that you are the hero always and already right now. And the journey that you create is the projection of who you believe you are. And that's why the story of the hero always begins with this sort of ordinary person living in this ordinary world, believing in this story of oneself. And that whole arc of an experience is projected out of that sense of self for that individual to go through, to overcome and awaken and realize, to achieve and accomplish everything that it desires, which it creates the permission slip outside of oneself to experience. And all of that is this dream that unfolds, that we get to experience. And yet, the journey itself is, as wonderful as it may be, entirely unnecessary in terms of it's not something that you have to go through. It's something that you're creating and therefore choosing to experience based on what you're believing about yourself. So in other words, when you come in contact with who you really are through the self-knowledge and the self-acceptance, then through that self-acceptance and then the self-control and the self-discipline, then you encounter the real self that you are. And through realizing that self, you master yourself. And to be the master over yourself is to be the creator of your reality, to rewrite the story of your life, to either fulfill the destiny that you've created to be the story that's unfolding, or to completely change the story altogether and to write a whole new possibility for you to experience. And that's all predicated upon the view, the belief, the concept of yourself that you are believing to be where you are and who you are and where you're at and everything that's around you that you're in a relationship to. And so the hero's journey is actually just this moment right now. It is the unending unfolding of this timeless, eternal moment, which is your own free choice to choose who you're being, to shift who you're conscious of being, and therefore to create an entirely new experience of what you're becoming, of what you're experiencing, and what you're manifesting. And that is the power of your imagination, of your consciousness. That is the power that you have and are as the creator of your reality. And it requires only the knowledge of yourself in order to master. And this is the essence of my Aligned Creator Blueprint, to create the story of your life that you wish to experience on your terms, to write the chapters of the success of your life to be what you desire them to be, and to experience everything that you wish to experience in a way that is fulfilling and connecting and exciting even. And this is the last day to get the 25% off of my Aligned Creator Blueprint. And it includes my new personalized AI guidance prompt that will walk you through this to uncover the self-concept, which is creating the arc of your hero's journey as it exists now, and helps you understand that self-concept so that the villains and the monsters and the trials and tribulations and obstacles that you face, which are merely just your old self, your old frequency, your old habits and thoughts and feelings, it places them into context so that when you encounter them, you can meet them with courage, with strength, with resilience, so that when you have chosen to be who you want to be, now you won't be deterred and full of doubt when you encounter these things as you move forward. And so this prompt walks you through this, uncovering this self-concept and bringing up all the questions and the prompts that illuminate the vision and the desire that you really have in your heart of heart. And so if you want to have access to this at the 25% discount, just comment HERO down below and I'll send you a link where you can access it today.